Justin and seeing him live is that he loves a horn section. I do as well. Instruments like the sax, trumpet, and trombone definitely breathe a special energy into music. Our next guest is a very talented trumpeter who came, I don't say trumpeter enough, it's a weird word, who came to a stark realization when he was growing up. He didn't know any female trumpeters. Now he's working to change all of that with his New Orleans-based nonprofit, Girls Play Trumpets Too. Please welcome Troy, everybody. Meet Justin. So you said growing up you didn't see any females playing trumpet, right?
Right, so my first instrument was a violin. I played that for a couple of years, and then I picked up the trumpet in 4th grade. Yeah. So growing up in New Orleans, you know, it's a brass city, drum city.
Musical,
but I didn't see, it's a musical city, the birthplace of jazz. And so I didn't see any professional female trumpet players growing up. So I felt like girls and women could not play the trumpet on a professional level.
Absolutely. Whenever I heard you say that earlier, I was like, I don't know that I did either. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, even like I love a horn section on stage, and I don't know that I noticed that. You have brass always involved in every show you do.
Yes, the energy just gets lifted with brass.
It's sexier.
It's,
yeah, I like a trumpet. Well, you have a theory, though, of why few women play, right?
Well, yes, because the trumpet is a lead instrument, and it represents leadership. And so for a long time, especially band directors would discourage girls from playing that lead instrument because they felt like they were not leaders. Or they were not strong enough. So they would put them on a woven instrument like a flute. You go play that flute. You're not strong enough to play that trumpet. And so growing up in New Orleans, like I said, I didn't see any professional female trumpet players until I saw one that she came from Canada to New Orleans and performed at Dillard University. And she was playing a lot of Miles Davis's tunes. And Miles Davis is one of my favorite trumpet players, besides Louis Armstrong, you know. And so I was like, wow, she can play. So that knocked down the walls of gender bias within me. And then traveling around the world, seeing professional female trumpet players that actually became their best friend. You're like, okay,
so, it's inspiring. So who would you say, like, I think my favorite female musician would probably be Sheila E. I just love working with her, and I love her so much, and I love percussion because I can't keep time like that. But who's one of your favorite female musicians?
Oh gosh, there's so many. Nina Simone.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite too.
Nina Simone's
really?
pretty, I mean, yeah, that's pretty great.
Nina
Yeah.
I mean, Etta.
Yeah.
And because for me, you know, I think sometimes, you know, somebody like Whitney or Etta was like, oh, they're your favorite singers, but they were musicians. You know, to the full extent. And, I mean, there's so many, I could keep going on and on, but we only have so much.
No,
show,
Aretha as well.
Aretha, I was about to say
Aretha. Everybody knows her as a singer, but great pianist.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you start Girls Play Trumpets Too? Like, where did that kind of start?
So you know the devastation of how Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans, and you know, traveling around the world and being away from home and seeing all my fellow New Orleanians being devastated by that storm. And I got away, you know, I evacuated. So I felt like it was my responsibility to come back and go back to New Orleans to help rebuild New Orleans. And then I got inspired to join this organization that will get professional musicians that have degrees to teach at a school that didn't have enough money in their budget to pay for a full-time music teacher. And that organization is called Artist School New Orleans. So it got me into actually teaching music in the school system. And I'm the only black male teacher there. So I felt like they were looking at me, and I felt like they needed me, and I needed them. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna keep it going. And I decided to put an after-school program together, specifically focusing on the trumpet, teaching everyone how to play the trumpet. But my best trumpet player was a girl. And she said, do you know who Valeda Snow is? I said, no, I don't. She's like, you don't know who Valeda Snow is? What's wrong with you? And
so disappointed in you.
Oh, she was. So Valeda Snow was a black woman that played the trumpet that traveled all over the world in the 1920s. And so she's our inspirational model for Girls Play Trumpets Too. I was scared at first. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this program. But my lady encouraged me to do it. She said, that's it. And I was trying to come up with different names for the program. She was like, no, Girls Play Trumpets Too, T-O-O. That's it, keep it simple. Yes.
It's very memorable. She's got good ideas.
Every time I trumpet, I win.
Every time I trumpet, I win. There you go. Nice callback. Trumpets Too in New Orleans, And you just saw a couple of his students showing off their skills. So Troy's nonprofit offers girls more than music lessons. It's also creating a sisterhood, which is very important. Joining us now are two of his students, 9-year-old Bailey and 11-year-old Chrisana. Give it up. Welcome to the show, ladies. Meet Justin. I know you know Troy. So I have to ask, so you were amongst the first to join, right?
Yes.
So what was it like? What was the first experience?
Well, when I joined Girls Play Trumpets Too, I was very nervous because I couldn't even play not one note.
Yeah, you gotta
at
start
all.
somewhere.
I couldn't even hold the trumpet.
Yeah.
But now I can actually play all the notes.
Okay, nicely done. What about you, Bailey?
It was okay because, you know, like, it was, like, really inspiring because, you know, like, you get a little nervous sometimes. But at the same time, you know, like Chrisana said, we cannot play a note at all.
Those are when the parents are like, just keep going in the house. I played violin when I was a kid, and well, there's a reason why I still don't. Yeah, it was not good. But what do you think you've learned about yourselves? Because it's also about connecting. Like when I was in choir as a kid, I loved also like the friendships that I made in the class. So it's about that as well, right?
I learned that trumpet actually brings out a lot of joy in me.
Yeah, it's a joyous sound. That's so beautiful and simple. I love that. What about you, Bailey?
It's the same thing like Chrisana said. It also brings out the frequency, you know, like all the music in like one whole bunch. You know? It really brings out so much joy in everybody.
You know what you just said? I love that. You like the feeling of it. Because I remember I sat in on a session in a studio and it was like a string section, horns, there's a whole orchestra was there. And sitting in the room, you feel like the vibrations, the wind from the instrument. It's like, it's a magical thing to feel. I'm glad you brought that up. And to be in tune with that at such a young age is so cool. What do you see in these girls? Like what are these qualities in these girls?
So one thing about Chrisana, I've been teaching her for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And she will always bring this joy. And I call her Smiley. She's always smiling. See, you look at her right now. I call her Smiley. Then when she joined Girls Play Trumpets Too, she said, oh, my stage name is Coco. Call me Coco. So welcome to the stage, Coco.
Coco! You got a stage name? I like it.
The one thing I could say about Bailey, she's a deep thinker. Her responses are deep, and she will come early to Girls Play Trumpets Too before all the girls come because she was like, I hope they don't come so I can get the private lessons. So that says a lot about her.
Yeah.
And I call her the Serena Williams.
It's like a work ethic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to put the extra time in, and you know, she really wants to get some extra time to get better.
I love that. It takes dedication to get good at something. So that's awesome. Do you have any advice for the girls?
I feel like I want advice from them. I remember being so young and being so inspired by music and knowing that it affected me in such a positive way. So just to hear how you're so tapped into, like, it really is a different frequency, you know? And also, too, the relationships that you will make in your life with other musicians that share this same feeling will be relationships that you will never forget. They will become your extended family. Like I talked about the musicians that tour with me and the musicians that I get to play with in the studio, and so many friendships that are made over this feeling that you share about creating music together. And I don't even know what to say. I'm so blown away by these two young old souls over here.
Yeah. So where do you see the program going from here?
So we want to expand. We're actually expanding to schools for us. Creating partnerships with schools to do after-school programming.
Yeah.
And so we're actually in need of more trumpets, more music stands, more method books, and funds to actually pay the instructors to teach at these different schools. And
especially because they're taking music and art programs out of school. So like the after-school programs are so important.
Right, so important. And I want to expand it to the world, to where we can actually do it online. And so
and reach everybody.
Reach everyone. Because girls and women could play trumpet too.
Yeah, you can. Well, there's a surprise that Justin has, so I'll let you take over from here.
I'm in my hometown in Memphis. I'm very, very hugely involved with Stax Academy, which is a music program for, you know, young people in Memphis. And I remember being, I think it was probably 3rd or 4th grade, and the music program in our school got cut. and it was heartbreaking for me. But I heard about y'all's story, and I was just really so touched by the whole thing that I wanted to make a donation and make sure every student gets a new trumpet.
Yeah, which those are priceless.